Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Wicked Wednesday. So today I'm going to be showing you how to get I'm calling it one with the sea, but it's just a pirate who has been in the water a little too long and has a couple starfish growing on her and some barnacles. So I'm going to show you how to get that using liquid latex and cotton and a little bit of gel, and I'll go more into that in the bottom bar below and in the actual video. So as you can see, I'm filming my intro not in costume. As you know, I'm really new to YouTube, so I'm still learning how to film and edit and everything. So I lost the footage accidentally of my intro, and you'll see throughout the video there's a couple places where I lose some footage, but I try to explain to you as best as I can what I'm doing. And if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to comment and I will answer, or maybe even film the whole video again, whatever you guys want. It's a really fun look, and it took a little while to do because you're going to To start this off, I'm drawing where I want my starfish to be. I'm using a red cream paint and just drawing a star. I'm going to fill that in. I'm using red because I want it to look like irritated skin. Next, I'm taking a thin layer of liquid latex on the back of a paintbrush, and I'm just filling in the outline that I drew. After I finish filling this in, I'm going to begin tearing off small pieces of cotton and patting this onto the latex. This is how I'm going to form my prosthetic. Once you have the cotton where you want it, just go ahead and coat it in another layer of liquid latex. And we're basically going to keep doing this until you have the starfish as big as you want it. So a layer of liquid latex, more cotton, a layer of liquid latex, more cotton, and just keep building it up until you have it how you want it. And keep in mind that you are building a starfish, so the middle part is going to be the fattest and each of the legs is kind of going to taper off. You don't have to worry about this being perfect, and it's okay if the top layer when you're finished has a lot of texture, because so do real starfish, and these will help you when you paint it in at the end. So it is okay if it's not perfect. Final layer you should apply should be latex, and then you're going to let that sit for quite a while and dry. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my barnacles. I'm just doing this by making dots with layers of liquid latex, and then I rolled up bits of a cotton ball into a long thin line, and then I kind of curled it into a circle and pressed that onto the latex. Once you have that where you want it, just like with the starfish, you're going to coat it in another layer of liquid latex, and you kind of want to taper out the outside edges because you want this to look like it's actually growing out of your skin, not like it's just stuck to you. So you're going to keep that process going of doing a circle of liquid latex, rolling up your cotton, twisting it into a circle, and placing it. You can do this as many times as you like. I did about 5 barnacles on my forehead and found that was plenty. You are welcome to do more or less. One thing I didn't have while doing this that I wish I did was tweezers. So tweezers may be able to help you a lot. I tried to look for some, but I couldn't find them and figured I would just use my fingers. So if you're having a difficult time with your fingers, don't freak out. Just try to grab some tweezers and do it. Getting these shaped and where you want them isn't exactly hard. It's just very tedious. So make sure you have enough time and take your time. It's a very slow process, but it's well worth it. You can see that I have many different size barnacles, and they're not perfect circles, and that's just because nature is not perfect. So just keep going and don't worry if it's not perfect, because nature isn't. If you need to, pull up a picture online of barnacles or of an old buoy or something with them growing on it as a reference. So you just keep layering and layering until you're pretty much blue in the face. Once you're finished, just like with the starfish, you want the top layer to be of latex. So just ensure that everything has a good solid coat of latex. Just a moment, I'm going to powder everything with a nude loose powder, and you're going to see a random scar appear on my face with latex. Ignore that because I decided I didn't like it and I peel it off later. And now I'm doing the exact same thing on my cheek. So you do a circle with a thin layer of liquid latex, roll up a bit of a cotton ball, shape it, and then place it, and then coat that whole thing in another layer of liquid latex. Now I'm going to start the big starfish on my chest, and I just did the same thing and outlined it in a red cream paint, and now I'm filling it in entirely with latex. We're going to do the exact same thing we did on our face, where we do a layer of latex and then a layer of cotton and then a layer of latex and then a layer of cotton, and you could do this as many times as you would like until you get the starfish to the thickness that you'd like. But as I said before, keep in mind that the middle part should be the fattest, with it tapering off towards each of the legs. This starfish was definitely the most time consuming thing I did because I had to let it dry between each layer, and it's pretty big. I did about 5 layers of cotton and latex, so it was pretty thick, and then it took up a decent amount of my chest, so this prosthetic definitely took me the longest. So take your time, don't get discouraged, and a few times you'll see some latex drip on my skin. If that happens to you, you can just wipe it off real quick with a damp finger, a damp paper towel, and hopefully it won't set. If it's been on there a little longer than it's just suddenly dripping, then you're going to have to peel it off and hope it doesn't wreck your design. So try to catch it quickly. So this next part is completely optional. I only did it because I kind of wanted to play with the new product, and I'm using a 3D gel by Mehron, and I'm just using this to build up the starfish on my face a little bit more. I ended up not liking this stuff as much as I like just using liquid latex and cotton, so like I said, this part's entirely optional. And I'm now doing the exact same thing on the starfish on my chest. Now that all my latex and gels are drying, I'm going to go ahead and start my regular makeup. I'm just priming my eyes with an Urban Decay primer potion. Now I'm taking a red eyeshadow, and this is called Ember by Skylark, and I'm just blending that all over my lid. I'm going to do a rookie eye. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that red color and bring it under my eyes to make me look tired and sick, I don't know. Ignore what I just did with that eyeliner, but now I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush and a deep purple shadow, and I'm just going to run that into my crease. I'm going to later put black over this. It's just purple, kind of gives that a nice base and makes the blending look a lot more natural. So I just took Urban Decay's eyeliner in Perversion, and I drew wings on the outside of my eyes, and then I'm taking a concealer brush and blending this in. I wanted it to be really dark there, so I'm also going to go over it with a black eyeshadow. I just wanted a lot of depth in the outer corners. So now I'm just using a fluffy blending brush with a little bit of black on it, and I am blending everything out until I'm satisfied with it. Now I'm taking Urban Decay's Perversion eyeliner again, and I'm lining my eyes. I'm doing a very thick line, and I'm being a little bit messy with it because I am going to smear this out. Now using a smudger, I'm just smudging all that eyeliner I just did to make it look like I've been out in the hot sun all day and have kind of sweated it off. Now I'm just priming my face using my normal everyday primer, and you can watch my everyday makeup routine to find out what I use. And then I'm just going to take some of my everyday foundation and begin covering my face. I'm not going to go over the barnacles or the starfish, but I am going to go over that scar. However, still irrelevant because I peeled that scar off. Alright, now is when I decide to peel off that scar, and I'm going to show you how to do another one. So I'm just going to be taking a little bit of liquid latex and drawing a very thin line. For this scar, I want it to look really old and really healed, so I'm just doing one layer of liquid latex and I'm doing it very, very thinly. It's extremely important that you don't get this in your eye or on your hair. If you saw, I was very careful to avoid my eyebrow hair. Latex will not come off of your hair and it can hurt your eyes, so be very, very careful when you work with it. Now I'm taking an alcohol activated paint, but I don't have any alcohol on my brush. Now I'm adding some alcohol to smear it out, and in a moment I'm going to be adding some yellow and some other colors. You can really have fun with the starfish. You can paint it how you want. It's just important to keep in mind the closer it is to your skin, the darker it will be, and then the further away from your skin, the lighter it will be, if that makes sense. Kind of like a contour and highlight to make the starfish look more 3D. So I'm adding some yellow to the high points of the starfish, and now I'm going in with dark blue to show depth. You can really use whatever colors you want. I just ended up Googling starfish and picked out whichever one I thought was pretty and kind of mimicked that. So now is when the fun part begins. We're going to take some liquid blood, nothing special, just regular liquid blood, and we're going to start patting that onto the edges of the starfish. We want it to look like it's kind of like a leech and it's really sucking the life out of you and really latched on there. At this point, you don't want to use too much blood, just a little bit of a wash is good to make the skin look nice and irritated. We will go back in with some gel blood later to make it look scabby and old. Once I have that as irritated as I want, I'm going to go in with some scab blood and start putting it at the base of the starfish where it connects to my skin. This kind of hides the fact that the edges of the latex may not be perfect, and it really makes it look like the starfish is never coming off of you and basically grew onto you. I like to use my finger to blend every once in a while to spread the fresh blood and scab blood into skin irritation. So your finger is a great tool for blending. Now I'm starting the exact same process on the starfish on my face, but instead of starting with red, I started with brown. I didn't want the red to clash too much with my red eyeshadow. So just like before, I'm adding a bunch of colors, some yellow, some red, some orange, just to add some depth to the starfish, give it some texture, and make it look alive. I started to lose the shape a little bit on my face, unlike with my chest, so I actually take a black liquid eyeliner and outline the star just so I can kind of find it again. And then I dip my brush in some makeup remover and I'm just blending out that black. I'm taking a very little bit of my thin liquid blood and spreading that onto my skin to create some skin irritation. I'm also going in with a green metallic eyeliner to add some depth to the starfish, and then I'm finally going back with some of the gel blood to create the scabby look. Now to start the barnacles, I'm taking the Perversion eyeliner again and filling in the center of the holes. I'm not filling it in super dark, just a little bit. Then I'm going to go back in with a brush dipped in makeup remover and I'm going to smear it out a little bit just to make it look a little bit more like a wash. Now I'm taking the Metallic Green Eyeliner again and very lightly coloring the outside of the barnacles. I'm going to go over this with some makeup remover as well to make it look washy. This is just the base layer for more colors I add later. The lighter you put these colors on and the more layers you do, the more realistic it will look, as opposed to just caking on one or two colors. This really gives it the realistic effect. Once again, I'm going in with some thin liquid blood and I'm just spreading that around the base of the barnacles to look like some skin irritation. Next, I'm taking a yellow cream paint and I'm just running it very lightly over the tops of the barnacles. I'm doing it really lightly, that way it catches the natural high points of the barnacles and looks like a realistic highlight. Now I'm taking a black cream paint and I'm pressing this into the edge of my barnacles to really give it the effect that they're growing out of my skin. Next I'm taking some more gel blood to give the scabby effect around the base of the barnacles. I'm really pressing this into the corner where the barnacle meets my skin. So just keep blending this out and painting on more blood and blending it out until you are satisfied. Also, make sure you get some of the scab blood in between the barnacles as well. And I'm taking just a little bit more green cream paint and painting that on, adding a few more highlights, and just kind of playing with the colors until I have them the way I like them. I'm also going to use that metallic green eyeliner again to incorporate a little bit of shine. Next, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing on my cheek using the same colors, techniques, bloods, everything is exactly the same. For the scar, I'm just going to be using one layer of my plain foundation, and it's going to appear lighter since the latex itself was lighter. And then I wanted the scar to extend over my eyebrow, so I put a drop of latex on the top and bottom, not touching the hair, and then I rolled up a piece of cotton and put that over it to look like the scar was going through my eyebrow. And now to finish the bottom of the scar, I'm just outlining it in a very, very subtle pink color. I mix it with a touch of red just to make it look like it was an old healed scar. While I wait for my eyebrow scar to dry, I'm just going to go back to the starfish on my chest and add some highlights and shadows to make it look more realistic. I'm also going to go ahead and do the same thing to the starfish on my face. Now that my scar is dry, I'm going to do the same thing as before and coat it in my base foundation and then outline it with a little bit of that pink color. Now, since I've been lost at sea, I want my skin to look like it has a little bit of sun damage, so I am just taking some bronzer and stippling this onto my face in random places, really with no rhyme or reason to look like a crappy tan. Next, I'm using a liquid highlighter and putting this all over my face. I'm going to smear it in. I want this to give me a dewy look / sweaty look since I've been lost on the ocean. Now I'm finishing off with some eyeliner, putting this on my waterline as well as smearing it below, and then I'm going to use my fingers and smear it out nice and messy because I want it to look very gross and old, as if I've been in seawater all day or for months, who knows. Next, I'm priming my lips and coating them in Nars' color Fire Down Below. This is a fantastic color if you're looking for a red lipstick. So I'm going to shape it into some points on the top of my lip, and then I'm going to use some black Urban Decay eyeliner to outline my bottom lip and make it look more full, as long as give them just a little bit of a pointed edge. Then I used a brush to smear them together and make it look a little bit more natural, and then let your hair down, and you, my pirate princess, are finished.